All right, welcome back. Special counsel Robert Mueller has issued grand jury subpoenas focusing on last summer's meeting between the president's son, top campaign advisors, and a Russian lawyer. The subpoenas are seeking documents and testimony from people inside that meeting. The probe is also now crossing the president's so-called red line by potentially examining his finances. Investigators want to know if the president, his family, or his associates have any financial ties to Russia. This comes as lawmakers unveil a bipartisan bill to protect Mueller from being fired by the president. Avery Friedman, a civil rights attorney and law professor, is in Cleveland, and Richard Herman, a New York criminal defense attorney and law professor, joining us from Las Vegas. Good to see you both. So, Richard, you first. What do lawyers need to be revealed from these first subpoenas?
Well, Fred, the grand jury is the mechanism to issue these subpoenas. And the subpoenas are calling for document production first, and that could be any form of financial documents, emails, any communications, bank records, tax returns, everything under the sun. And there's nothing you can do about that. You can make a motion to try to quash these subpoenas, but they're going to get this information, and then it'll be followed up by witness testimony before the grand jury, which, once you get a grand jury subpoena, and Manafort and Flynn are going to get these subpoenas to testify, and including President Trump's probably going to get a grand jury subpoena to be forced to testify.
So then, Richard, records are one thing, even testimony, but isn't it also imperative and important the behavior currently of any of the parties involved? I mean, an anonymous White House official told the Daily Beast that the worry is what the president does now, whether he does something that's going to make everything else even more difficult, just keep him off the Twitter and on the teleprompter. So what kind of pressure is there on the White House for those who were trying to bring about such discipline that there isn't a misstep currently?
Enormous pressure on White House staff and on the president's personal counsel to keep him under control, which they've been unable to do. Fred, make no mistake about it, the first impeachment grounds against President Clinton and the ones being drawn up against President Nixon dealt with obstruction of justice. And forget about the Russian collusion aspect. The obstruction of justice and the pattern of obstruction of justice is very serious here, and they have to keep the president quiet and under control because he seems to add to that with almost every Twitter he makes. So it's almost an impossible feat, Fred, because this president is out of control, and I don't think he understands the seriousness of where we are right now. I just think he's completely delusional about this.
All right, Richard Herman, Avery Friedman, always good to see you guys. Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll be right back.